Hello and welcome to another video on the Gegenpress, and today we have a brand making its debut on the channel. In the past we spoke a lot about Mizuno, obviously. We had Adler, Adidas, and more recently Nike via the Phantom 6, which suits my wide foot. But today we return back to the kangaroo leather side of things, and in front of us we have the Brazil-Japanese brand Athleta. Specifically the O-Rei, which is their football boot range, if I'm not mistaken. I saw Athleta a lot in Japan during my last trip. Several J-League teams are actually sponsored by Athleta. Didn't pick the jerseys up because not really fond of the team. I think it was Tokyo Verdy. But anyways, I was looking for the boot, couldn't find it. I went to Kamo. Maybe I missed it in Kamo. I didn't find it at Alpen in Shinjuku. So once I was back in Malaysia, saw this online, so took a plunge because this is one of those that's in my list and I want to try it out. So just received this yesterday, haven't played with it. So just gonna talk about this as my first impressions, what you get out of the box, and share with you some initial thoughts. We'll be releasing a specific video later on my experience playing with it. But today we're just gonna see what we're gonna get once we order this from the box. So I've already taken this out initially just for the fitting, but straight out of the box is very straightforward. You get the boots and you get a pair of extra laces. So a bit interesting about the laces is that the laces the laces which are attached to the shoes are of the stretchy kind. Might not be everyone's cup of tea because they're the sort where some people like their shoes really snug, and this might be an annoyance to some. I don't really like this. I'll probably shift to the standard laces, which are also included in the box. So you have Athleta, the branding right at the tips there. So anyways, we're not talking about the laces today, we're talking about the shoes. All right, so obviously a quick one about Athleta O-Rei T7. The front portion, the forefoot, is made of K leather, and anything beyond this bit is synthetic all the way to the back. The leather is very soft. It's very close to what Mizuno and Adler was able to provide. I'm very happy with it actually. You can even see, they call it a squish test, but believe me when I say this, that if you take out the branding and ask me to put this on, I would say this could be either an Adler or a Mizuno. The leather is very soft. And an interesting bit that they've incorporated, I wish the bigger brands like Mizuno or Asics or even Adidas would take into this, is that they've added this, I think you can see it on the video, this rough textured portion on the toe box at the front. I think this is meant to protect the shoes because most of the time this is where you get the most contact. Not for toe poking actually, but it's actually when you're controlling the ball, when you're running. This portion here is always the ones that are always the first ones to give way. It doesn't matter whether you're playing on turf or real grass, normal pitches. This is where getting the most abuse. So they have like this sort of a rough coat here, which I think would help with durability and also control, because unlike the K leather part, which is kind of soft and smooth, this one is a bit abrasive. And if you are to do a bit of trying to curve the ball, this should be helpful. It adds a bit more grip to the front. I like the part here, the midfoot where the cage is. It adds structure but also a bit of padding. Wearing this, initially I wore around the house before I put on this video. It does feel very structured. It doesn't feel floppy. Adlers do feel floppy because it's basically just K leather, full K leather on top. But this bit here provides structure and actually helps with the lockdown. So I think it'll be much more secure once I change with the normal laces. But even with this one, it stays in place, and I really like it. The toe box does look a bit, from this you can't really tell, but in my just based on my initial experience, it does feel a bit roomy. And then again, this shoe is made for those with wider feet. So if you have wide feet, you're the sort who would eventually land with a Neo 4 non-beta version, because your feet is quite wide. This is the perfect one. The U-throat opens really, really wide. Getting in and out is really, really easy. But once you lock your feet in, it stays in. I'm very, very happy with. It might not look much, especially at the heel area here where there's no like plastic cups or whatever. But it does lock in my heels really, really well. Hope to give you more information on that once I play around several sessions with this. The studs, okay, so this is FG if I'm not mistaken. It does look a lot like FG, and it's on the wide side of things. You can tell from the look of it. I don't think it's gonna be much of an issue. The pressure is being spread really, really well. I don't feel the stud pressure points. I have no problem with that. Although I will stick to playing with this on good artificial grass pitches. I mean, if I have like natural grass, obviously I'll play it there. But I think this is safe enough to play in your standard AG pitches, and hope to see how it performs. It is very, very snappy. It's actually very, very rigid here. From the forefoot, you can bend, but the one on the middle here, you can see there's a bit of raised area, especially here. If you can look at that part. So it does add stability here. So it does, walking around, you can feel it bouncing back. There are some runner's loop here if you want to put it in. That would secure the shoe much better. And the inner lining here feels a lot like the Mizuno's ones where I think it's like suede or whatever. So once your socks get a bit damp from playing football from sweat, this will lock it in. The other reviews aren't kidding, they weren't lying when they say this locks in very, very well. Getting in is really easy. It stays put. If I am to say anything negative about this, is probably the simplicity of it, of the design, because you can see one part here, just Athleta here, written here, and then a huge one over there. Not a fan of over branding on shoes. I mean, you can keep it subtle, but I just think they could have, keep this blank and then just leave the Athleta inside. But then again, for a small brand, you want to put your brand as often as possible. I purchased this. Where was it? There was a tag that was going for around 17,000 to 18,000 yen. I will put the exact conversion rate right here in post edit. But I think I paid around 400 ringgit plus for this. So 400 ringgit for a K leather upper, obviously that's the synthetic part towards the end, is actually a very, very good deal. And in terms of fit, in terms of how it feels on foot, the way it molds around my feet, I feel this is a very, very good buy. It's a steal actually, and I highly recommend you to check it out. I think I haven't worn hundreds of boots, but I think I've worn maybe well over 40 to 50 boots to date. So you somewhat can gauge how it's going to feel like, and I have a feeling that this will sit quite close to the top when I compare to the other football boots that I've tried in the past. Yes, the bottom, the studs bit is very, very boring. This is close to as plain as what you get from a Morelia 2. I like that they put a bit of a metal rivet in front here, but that's pretty much to secure it. The next video featuring the Athleta, we will see my honest thoughts on playing with it, how it feels to strike the ball, how it feels to control the ball, and obviously passing. And I don't know, I might even add a stomp test, because the tongue here is actually padded, and I've gotten my foot stomped on a couple of times in the past few weeks, and I think if I'm wearing this going into the field, I am gonna feel a bit more secure. I'll still avoid from getting my foot stomped, but if I do get stomped by someone, this will provide me more protection. I feel it's very, very padded, not very padded, but you can feel comparatively to modern synthetic boots, or even like I think the wave cups are padded well. The Mizuno Morelia 2s are padded, but not as thick. So this sits very well between the wave cups and Morelia 2s. So I like it. It also helps, especially when you're controlling the ball, trying to cushion it. It helps a lot. So there you go. It feels really good, and I have a very, very good feeling about this. So if you have any questions, will take a few days before I actually get to on the field. But comments down below. I really appreciate your thoughts, your opinions, your questions. If you liking the video helps me a lot. Keeps the motivation up. I don't think the video is up to monetization yet. It does help with the algorithm if you like it, if you give some comments. Sharing it helps a lot as well. But share your thoughts. Open to ideas. Comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon in the next video.